Let me be straight with you. This isn't clickbait. I'm not selling you some secret technique to manifest your dream life in just 3 minutes. I'm Dr. Amirah, and I've spent over 4 decades studying the intersection of ancient wisdom traditions and modern neuroscience. I have a doctorate in consciousness studies, and I have trained with Egyptian mystery school teachers, hermetic practitioners, and quantum physicists, mentors. I've worked with hundreds of clients who came to me after every other manifestation method failed them. And here's what I learned: manifestation is always instant, every single time. And once you understand the neuroscience and the energetics behind it, everything changes. You'll stop forcing, you'll stop second guessing, you'll finally understand what true detachment actually means. I've watched hundreds of manifestation videos and they follow the same formula. Step one, believe instant manifestation is real. Step two, here's the ultra rare secret method. Step three, I manifested a text from my special person in 24 hours. And step four, if it didn't work, you didn't try hard enough. And here's what they're missing: your conscious mind isn't doing your manifestation. Your subconscious and your unconscious minds are. And if those layers aren't aligned, nothing happens. Think of your mind like this iceberg. And this section here, what you see above the water, that's your conscious mind, your willpower, your decisions, your plans, your goals, maybe 5% of your total mental capacity. Now, underneath, this is where your real power lies. Your subconscious mind holds your emotions, your values, your beliefs, your habits, identity. And deeper still is your unconscious mind holds your shame and your trauma and your secrets and everything you suppressed. Now, these hidden layers actually create your reality, not your conscious thoughts. This isn't new age fluff. The ancient Egyptians understood this thousands of years ago. They carved it into the walls of their temples. As above, so below. As within, so without. The Hermetic principle of correspondence. What exists in your inner world creates your outer reality, not through magic, through alignment. And here's what most people miss: within doesn't mean your conscious thoughts, it means the totality of your being, conscious, subconscious, and unconscious. The Emerald Tablets of Hermes Trismegistus said it clearly: that which is below corresponds to that which is above. Your external reality is a mirror of your internal state, not just your surface thoughts, your deepest beliefs, emotions, and unconscious programming. And the coherence with all three levels of mind, this is what the ancients meant by the great work, bringing the unconscious into the light. The ancient Greeks taught this in their mystery schools. At Alias, initiates learn the profound truth to know thyself, not just the conscious desires, but your shadow, your hidden beliefs, your suppressed emotions, because what you don't know about yourself is running your life. And the unconscious always wins. They called the process remembering what was forgotten, bringing the unconscious into the awareness. In the temples of Egypt, priests spent years learning one thing: to align the Ka with the Ba with the Ak, a vital force with your soul and with your higher self. What we now call conscious, subconscious, and unconscious alignment. They knew that when all three forces aligned, creation was instant. The outer world would reshape itself to match your inner totality, not just your wishes, your whole being. Your conscious mind sets intentions, and your subconscious mind holds the beliefs and the emotions that either support or sabotage your intentions. And your unconscious mind, well, it holds the deepest programming that actually creates your reality. And here's what most people won't tell you: if your subconscious belief contradict your conscious desires, the subconscious wins. If your unconscious trauma contradicts both, the unconscious wins every single time. Your subconscious mind contains your emotions, your values, your beliefs, your habits. It needs clear orders and images. It doesn't judge, it just executes. But it resists change because it wants to keep you safe. This is where most manifestation efforts die. Your conscious mind says, I want abundance, but your subconscious believes money is evil or rich people are greedy. Guess which one is going to create your reality? Below the subconscious lies the unconscious. This is where your trauma lives, your shame, your guilt, your secrets, the violence you witnessed, the pain you suppressed, everything you couldn't process, you buried here. And it's running your life from the shadows. The Egyptians called this the duat, the underworld, the part of you that must be faced, integrated, and healed. Recent neuroscience has shown us something that ancients already knew. Your heart has its own neural network, over 40,000 neurons. It's literally a second brain. And your heart communicates with your subconscious constantly. Actually, your heart sends more signals to your brain than your brain sends to your heart. And the Egyptians called this intelligence of the heart. It's the bridge between the conscious and the subconscious. And when trauma lives in your unconscious, your heart knows it. For manifestation to work, you need coherence across all three levels: conscious intention, subconscious belief, and unconscious healing. Not just surface level positive thinking stuff. Deep cellular alignment across the entire iceberg. When you say, I am wealthy, but your subconscious feels unworthy, when your unconscious holds shame about money from your childhood, your reality reflects that deeper truth, not the affirmation. This is what the Hermetic text meant as within, so without. The entire within, not just the tip. Think of it like a radio station. Your conscious mind is broadcasting at, let's say, 101.5 FM, and your subconscious is broadcasting at 95.3 FM. Your unconscious is broadcasting at 87.9 FM. The universe receives all three signals, but the deepest signal is the strongest. Your unconscious programming will always win, always. And this is why affirmations alone just don't work. The Greeks understood this. They taught that you must descend into Hades before you can ascend into Olympus. Let me tell you about a client that I had an experience with. I'll call her Jane. She came to me absolutely exhausted. She'd been trying to manifest a new job for 8 months. She had a vision board. She had these affirmations going. She had a manifestation journal. She'd done every technique under the sun, but nothing was working. And I asked her to close her eyes and say her affirmation out loud. She said, I'm abundant and successful. She said it. And then I asked her, well, what do you feel in your body right now? She paused. She said, well, tightness in my chest, anxiety in my stomach. And there it was. Conscious mind is abundance, subconscious mind, fear and unworthiness. But we needed to go deeper. When did you first feel this tightness? I asked her. She closed her eyes. And after a moment, tears came. She said, when I was 7, my dad lost his job. And I remember the fighting, the fear in the house. I remember my mom crying and saying, we'd lose everything. And there it was. In her unconscious mind, 7-year-old terror about job loss. Her subconscious was feeling lack and unworthiness. Her conscious mind was saying abundance. So there's a conflict. And that terror from the depths, well, that was creating her reality, not her affirmations. Her conscious mind was saying abundance. Her subconscious was feeling lack and unworthiness. And her unconscious was screaming danger every time she got close to a job opportunity. So the 3 levels, 3 different broadcasts. And her nervous system, well, it was completely dysregulated. She was living at a constant low level fight or flight. That 7-year-old's terror was controlling a grown woman's life. I told her something that was surprising to her. You need to stop manifesting for a while. She looked at me like I was crazy. But here's the thing about detachment. It's not a technique that you add on top of manifesting. It's what becomes possible when you heal the unconscious. So when the deeper layers are calm, detachment becomes natural. The ancient Stoics call this apatheia, not apathy, but equanimity. The Buddhists call this non-attachment, and you can't force it from the conscious mind. Detachment doesn't mean you don't care. It means you've healed the unconscious terror that makes you grasp, hang on to things. True detachment comes from feeling safe. When your unconscious knows it's safe, you can release. The Bhagavad Gita says, you have the right to work, but not to the fruit of the work. But try telling that to a traumatized unconscious mind. It won't listen. You have to heal the trauma first. Your nervous system is everything. And when unconscious trauma is active, you're in a sympathetic mode, fight or flight, and your perception narrows. You literally can't see the opportunities right in front of you. It's like you're blinded. Your brain is scanning for the dangers your 7-year-old self experienced. But when you heal the unconscious trauma, when you release the stored fear and shame, your nervous system can finally rest. The parasympathetic mode becomes accessible. So I gave Jane a different assignment. First, we needed to heal the unconscious wound. We did some energy work, quantum energy clearing, nervous system regulation, and we helped that 7-year-old part of her feel safe again. We released that stored terror from her body. We cleared the unconscious programming that said jobs aren't dangerous. This is the work the ancient Egyptians did in their mystery schools, descending into the duat, facing the shadow, integrating the fragments. The first week, old memories surface: grief, fear, anger, all the emotions she had suppressed as a child. And this is the descent into what the Greeks spoke of as Hades, into the underworld. It's the uncomfortable, but it's necessary. You can't heal what you won't feel. By week 2, something shifted. The tightness in her chest started to release. The anxiety in her stomach began to soften. Her unconscious was healing. And with the unconscious trauma clearing, we could address the subconscious. Her beliefs around money, about feeling unworthy, about success. We didn't use affirmation. We used a feeling state and quantum energy tools. From a coherent nervous system, we helped her subconscious experience safety with abundance, experience that worthiness in her body, not just a concept. It felt a reality. And the Egyptians called this transformation of the heart. Now, we could work with her conscious mind. I asked her to write down her intention for this job. Now, not the specifics, the feeling. I want to feel valued, challenged, and financially secure. And by this time, her whole being could align with it. Conscious intention, subconscious belief, and conscious safety. All 3 levels broadcasting in the same frequency. And when I told her to put that in the drawer and forget about it, complete detachment, which is now possible because her unconscious mind wasn't terrified anymore. Week 5, she was at this coffee shop working on her laptop. She gets a subtle urge to go outside instead of inside. It doesn't make logical sense. It's chilly outside, she said, but her body says yes. So this is what the Greeks called daemon, and the inner voice. But it's actually her subconscious and her unconscious working together, guiding her across a bridge to conscious mind where the conscious mind can't see. So she followed it. And here's what most people don't understand. That impulse to go sit outside, well, that wasn't random. That's her unconscious mind was guiding her. It's actually scanned the environment. It knew something her conscious mind didn't. The Hermetic principle at work: as above, so below. The universal intelligence speaking through all levels of her awareness. But she could only receive that guidance because her entire system was aligned. Unconscious healed, subconscious aligned, conscious receptive. So she goes, sits outside. 5 minutes later, this woman comes and sits at the next table, and they make eye contact, smile. And the woman spills her coffee. And Sarah hands her napkins, and they're quickly wiping it up. And they start talking. The ancient Egyptians would have called this divine order, the perfect unfolding of events when 3 levels of mind are in harmony, when the entire iceberg is aligned. Small talk turns into real conversation. The woman mentions she runs a marketing agency. Jane mentioned she's been freelancing marketing, and the woman's energy shifts. We've been looking for someone. Are you open to opportunities? So Jane's old self would have jumped at this, desperate and grasping and needy, but she healed the unconscious terror that created that grasp. She has rewired the subconscious beliefs that created this neediness. So her conscious mind could respond from clarity. She checked in with her body. She kind of felt all three levels aligned. That conscious mind, this aligns with my intention. Subconscious, this feels abundant and safe. And the unconscious, there was no terror, no warning signals, just peace. Her chest opened, her belly softened. A quiet, unmistakable yes. From her entire being, she said, I'd love to hear more. She was calm, grounded, detached from any outcome. As above, so below. As within, so without. Her internal totality created this opportunity. They met for coffee the next week. The role was exactly what Jane had written down. She felt valued, challenged, financially secure. And here's what blew her mind. The woman said, I don't know why I felt pulled to sit outside that day. I never sit outside. It was cold, but something told me to. So two unconscious minds orchestrated the same universal intelligence. Both women, entire icebergs aligned to create this moment. And this is what actually happened. That moment, Jane's entire being aligned, conscious, subconscious, unconscious, the bridge formed. Instantly, her unconscious mind started orchestrating, but she couldn't walk across the bridge until she had healed that terror, until her subconscious beliefs support her desire, until her conscious mind could detach. The Hermetic texts call this the great work, aligning all three levels with the universal mind. Think about all the variables. Jane had to heal her unconscious trauma. She had to rewire her subconscious beliefs. And she had to have the conscious impulse to sit outside at that exact time. The woman had to have the same unconscious guidance, and they had to sit next to each other. The coffee had to spill to break the ice. The conversation had to flow naturally to work. None of this was random. It's all orchestrated by the subconscious and the unconscious minds of both people. The Greeks call it synchronicity, meaningful coincidence. Carl Jung rediscovered what the ancients already knew. The unconscious creates reality. But here's why it worked. Jane had done the real work. She didn't just override her unconscious with affirmations. She descended into it. She faced that 7-year-old's terror. She released that stored trauma. She rewired the subconscious beliefs. Then her conscious mind could set the intention from a place of alignment, not from fear, but from wholeness. Neville Goddard said, feeling is the secret. But most people misunderstand this. They try to manufacture a feeling from their conscious mind. They force themselves to feel abundant while their subconscious screams they're unworthy, while their unconscious holds on to terror. And that doesn't work. The ancient Egyptians knew this, and they taught that sekhem, your power, comes from integration. All three levels feeling the same truth, not pretending, genuine alignment across the entire iceberg. True feelings come from the three levels being aligned. When your unconscious is healed, then your subconscious beliefs support your desire. When your conscious intention is clear, that's when your entire being broadcasts the same frequency, and your external world has no choice but to reflect it. Not because you're thinking positive thoughts, but because 95% of your mind, the subconscious and the unconscious, is creating the reality. As within, so without, the whole iceberg. Let me explain what's happening in your brain. When unconscious trauma is active, you're in sympathetic mode. Your brain's perceptual field narrows. You literally cannot see opportunities that are right in front of you. You're scanning for the threats. Your unconscious remembers. The Egyptians understood this as being trapped in the duat. Modern neuroscience confirms it. But when you heal the unconscious and align the subconscious, you're in parasympathetic mode, your perceptual field expands, receptive instead of defensive. Your subconscious and your unconscious can guide you. So, how do you create this alignment? It's not about more manifestation techniques, I'll tell you that. It's about integration. First, heal the unconscious. What traumas are you carrying? What shame? What guilt? Feel it, face it, release it. This is what some people refer to as the shadow work. With the quantum tools, it's real easy. It's just a simple clearing. The descent, the mystery schools taught. Then rewire the subconscious. What beliefs contradict your desires? We replace them, not with affirmations, but with felt experiences of being safe. Only then can your subconscious mind detach, because detachment isn't a mental trick. It's what emerges when your unconscious feels safe, when your subconscious trusts, when all three levels are aligned, then you can set your intention and let it go completely. Not because you're forcing yourself, but because your whole being knows it's already done. The Tao Te Ching says, in the pursuit of learning, every day something's acquired. In the pursuit of the Tao, every day something is dropped. Drop the unconscious burdens. Drop the subconscious limitations. Then the conscious mind can finally rest. Now, I can tell you how to heal your unconscious all day long, but saying heal your trauma is one thing. Actually doing it's another, right? Here's what most people don't understand. Trauma isn't just a memory. It's a stored frequency in your body and your field. It's the frozen terror in your nervous system. It's the energetic imprint in your subconscious and your unconscious. And until you clear it energetically, it keeps running your life. Talk therapy can help, but it's not enough. You need to release the actual energetics. Your energetic field is real. The ancient traditions knew this. The Egyptians called it the aura of light surrounding the ka. The Greeks called it pneuma. Modern science is starting to measure it with biofield imaging. When your field carries unconscious trauma and subconscious fear, you feel anxious, scattered, overwhelmed, reactive. Not because you're broken, but because you're carrying stuck energy in all three levels: conscious, subconscious, unconscious. And this is exactly why I teach quantum energy tools. These aren't complicated rituals. They're practical techniques to clear your energy field across all three levels, to release unconscious trauma stored in your body, to clear subconscious belief lodged in your field, to discharge the nervous system activation that keeps you in that fight or flight, to come back to your natural state of alignment, that whole iceberg, not just the tip. The quantum energy tools I teach help you release unconscious trauma stored in your body, in your field, clear the subconscious beliefs and emotional patterns, discharge the nervous system activation that keeps you stuck, and return your entire being, the conscious, subconscious, and unconscious, to clarity, where when all three levels are clear, manifestation becomes effortless. You don't even have to force it. You just have to clear the interference from the depths. Jane learned these tools. Before, when I told her to heal the trauma, she didn't know how. She wanted to, but the energy was stuck in her unconscious. After learning to clear her energy field, everything changed. The 7-year-old terror wasn't just a memory. It was frozen energy in her body. Once she learned how to effortlessly release it, the subconscious could rewire. The conscious mind could finally detach, not as a struggle. Detachment works because it keeps all three levels in coherence. The moment you start obsessing, your subconscious dysregulates. Your unconscious trauma reactivates. You drop out of alignment across that entire iceberg. You can't see the bridge anymore. You can't feel the subtle impulses from your unconscious. Your subconscious starts broadcasting fear again. Your conscious mind spins in anxiety, and the manifestation can't land. Here's the paradox. The less you need it, the faster it comes. Not because the universe is testing you, but because neediness comes from unconscious wounds. When the unconscious is healed, neediness disappears. When the subconscious feels safe, grasping stops. When the conscious mind trusts, forcing ends. Then you're open, receptive, aligned, and your subconscious and your unconscious create your reality effortlessly. The Hermetic principle in action: as within, so without. Healed within, be integrated. Your body will tell you if an impulse is true guidance, because your body houses all three levels: conscious awareness, subconscious emotion, unconscious memory. And true guidance from your unconscious feels like expansion, like ease, like rightness in your whole being. False guidance from unhealed trauma feels like contraction, like a force, like fear. And Jane learned this. And when the woman offered her the job, her whole system expanded. Unconsciously safe, subconscious aligned, conscious clear, yes. Your unconscious mind knows the path. It knows exactly how to get you from A to B. It's connected to the ocean of consciousness, the collective unconscious that I spoke about. The field, the Egyptians called the Duat, and the heavens. But it can't communicate with you when unconscious trauma is active, when subconscious fear is loud, and when conscious anxiety is overwhelming. It speaks in whispers, not shouts, in gentle pulls, not demands. You have to learn its language, the language of sensation across all three levels, the language of resonance in your whole being. Does this feel expansive or contracted in your body, in your emotions, in your deepest knowing? Does this create peace or anxiety at the conscious, subconscious, and unconscious levels? Does my entire being say yes or no? These are the guidance signals from the depths. Stop trying to manifest with your conscious mind alone. You're working with 5% of your power. Your subconscious holds 30%, and your unconscious holds 65%. Get all three aligned. Heal the unconscious trauma, rewire the subconscious beliefs, clear the conscious mental clutter. Then set your intention from that integrated state and detach completely. And the ancient mystery schools taught this as the great secret: conscious, subconscious, and unconscious in harmony. Spirit, soul, and body united. As above, so below. As within, so without. Complete detachment means your unconscious feels safe. Your subconscious trusts the process. Your unconscious mind doesn't need to know when or how. You're not white knuckling it from the surface. You're not pretending from conscious while the unconscious just screams terror. All three levels have released because you've done the deep work, the shadow work, the healing, the integration. Well, what is meant for you cannot be denied when your entire being is aligned. And there's an enormous relief in this. You don't have to figure out how to do this with your conscious mind. Your unconscious already knows. You don't have to force anything with willpower. Your subconscious creates it. You just have to get out of the way, heal the depths, clear the blocks, and align the levels: heart and brain coherence. Nervous system is regulated, unconscious at peace. Subconscious is in trust, conscious in clarity. The Tao flows effortlessly when all three levels stop resisting. Jane messaged me a few months after starting her job. She said, "I finally understand what you meant. The job came when I stopped chasing it with my conscious mind. But more importantly, I healed something I didn't even know was running my life. That 7-year-old is finally safe. My whole being trusts now. Unconscious, subconscious, everything feels easier." That's what real transformation is. Not just getting what you want with your conscious desires, but healing your unconscious wounds, reprogramming your subconscious beliefs, becoming someone whose entire being trusts life, living from that principle of as above, so below. So here's your actual practice. First, we do the deep energy work. What unconscious wounds are you carrying? Face them, feel them, release them energetically. And this is the descent into the duat. And second, rewire the subconscious. What beliefs contradict your desires? We replace those with felt experiences of safety and worthiness. This is the transformation of the heart. And third, align the conscious mind. Every morning, spending a few minutes in heart coherence, hand on the heart, slow breathing, peaceful thoughts from that integrated state. Feel your desire as it's already fulfilled, not just in your head, in your whole being, unconscious, subconscious, and conscious. And then let go completely. When you get a gentle impulse from your unconscious, follow it, even if it seems unrelated to your desire, especially if it seems unrelated. Your unconscious is guiding you across the bridge. Your subconscious is orchestrating the details. Your conscious mind just needs to listen and act and trust those impulses from the desires. The ancient Egyptians followed what they call the snu, the divine call from the unconscious. It's still calling from beneath the surface. Are you listening? The manifestation will appear when all three levels are ready, when your unconscious has healed enough to receive it, when your subconscious believes you're worthy of it, and when your conscious mind can hold on without grasping. Not your ego's timing, soul timing. Trust your unconscious knows. The Hermetic texts say, to everything there is a season. The universe operates on the timing of the depths, not the urgency of the surface. So stop overanalyzing with your conscious mind. Stop doing 47 different techniques. Stop obsessing over signs and what does it mean. Do the real work. Heal the unconscious. Align the subconscious. Clear the conscious. Get into coherence across all three levels. Set intentions from that integrated state. Detach completely because the depths are finally safe. Live fully in the present. Follow your unconscious impulses or your intuition. That's it. The mystics kept it simple for a reason. Heal the depths, align the whole, trust the process. The present moment is where all three levels can integrate, not because it's a spiritual cliche, but because it's the only place where the conscious, subconscious, and unconscious can align. You can't integrate while your conscious mind worries about the future. You can't heal while your unconscious ruminates about your past. Integration only happens in the now. The ancient Egyptians called this the eternal now, the point where all three levels of the iceberg meet. It's always been true. Your unconscious mind is brilliantly intelligent. It's connected to the ocean of consciousness, the collective unconsciousness, the field of infinite potential. It knows things your subconscious doesn't know. It sees connections your conscious mind can't see. But it needs you to heal the trauma stored within it, to stop overriding it with conscious anxiety, to trust, to integrate, to allow. The Hermetic principles have never changed. As above, so below. As within, so without. The entire within, the whole iceberg. Conscious, subconscious, and unconscious. Manifestation is always instant because the bridge forms immediately. But you can only walk the bridge when all three levels are aligned. Unconscious is healed, subconscious programmed for success, conscious mind is clear and detached. Heart and brain coherent across all three levels. Nervous system is calm, body is open, entire being is integrated. That's where magic happens, not through conscious force, through unconscious and subconscious creation. The ancient Egyptians knew this. The Greeks taught this in their mystery schools. Carl Jung rediscovered it. The truth has always been the same. The depths create reality. You're more powerful than you know, but your power doesn't come from your conscious thoughts alone. It comes from the integration of these three levels. Unconscious, subconscious. It comes from healing the shadow. It comes from rewiring the beliefs. It comes from trusting the depths. The bridge is already there. Your unconscious has already built it. Your subconscious is already orchestrating. Now, do the work to clear the interference, heal the trauma, release the fear, integrate the fragments, and stay aligned all 3 levels. Stay detached because your depths finally feel safe, and follow the genuine impulses from your unconscious home. As above, so below. As within, so without. This is the eternal law. The whole iceberg creates the whole reality. So if you have questions about unconscious healing, subconscious reprogramming, the quantum energy tools, or true integration, drop them in the comments below. This understanding of the 3 levels changed everything for me and my clients. I sure hope it does the same for you. Thank you for being here. Now go do the real work. Heal your unconscious, align your subconscious, clear your conscious mind. Your manifestation is already done in the depths. Your job is to become coherent enough to receive it. If you like this content, give me a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll look forward to seeing you in the next one.